This is Tracer Talks, conversations with top industry experts on trending topics for brands and digital risk protection, featuring your host, Tracer CEO, Rick Farnell.
Welcome everyone to episode 1 of Tracer Talks. Today in episode 1, we have Tracer Talks Growers and Producers with Mark Leonard. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick. Really appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, so we'll have a little bit of fun today for sure. Just to kick things off, Mark, just tell the audience a little bit about Sunsweet.
Sure. We are an agricultural cooperative, one of the world's largest producers of dried fruit, and we were actually founded in 1917. And it's kind of amazing when you think back that a bunch of farmers had the forethought to brand a commodity. Our primary product is prunes, but we have some other dried fruit as well. And so you've got Welch's, you've got Ocean Spray, and you've got us and a few others that have, branded fruit. Pretty remarkable.
It's an amazing business. And I think, to kick off things here on Tracer Talks is such an interesting, I'm really excited about where we're going to go here. So as it relates to brand protection, let's focus. What does brand protection mean to you?
Well, obviously, you've got to take care of the fundamentals. You're protecting your IP through registrations or whatever mechanism, and then you're enforcing on it as well. But I think brand protection now goes much broader than that, especially in the CPG space, and especially for food and beverage companies. You're a heavily regulated industry, first of all. So you got to make sure you're handling that. I mean, one of the worst things you can do to your brand is have a recall. So you want to make sure your QA team is up to speed. We're living in the world of cyber threats and being held hostage and data breaches. And you don't want to have your brand in the news because you've just had a bunch of your customers' data stolen. So the traditional stuff, sure, but it goes broader than that. And I've had really good support from my C-suite, especially my CEO on that, who came up with a motto last year, which is our brand is everything. And so obviously for a trademark geek like me, that was music to my ears.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, you recently started, I think, probably about a year or so at Sunsweet. So tell us a little bit about how did you land? What was brand protection and the approach taken prior to you? And how did you get the program rolling to where you are today?
Yeah, so it was minimal, which I've seen previously. I've been in the unique position, having previously served as Jelly Belly's general counsel for 6.5 years, to create from the ground up a brand protection program. And the companies were similarly situated. Everything was outsourced, both domestic and international. And they were doing basic monitoring, new trademark filings, new domain registrations. And it was a very reactive strategy. If they weren't hearing about it, they didn't know what was going on. And so they certainly weren't doing any kind of aggressive online monitoring, things like that. So when I came in, I said, hey, this is some technology that I used at Jelly Belly. It was really valuable. Talked with marketing about it, had demos, and they, without much prodding from me, immediately saw the value. The CPG space exploded on e-commerce during COVID. That shows no signs of letting up, food and beverage included. And so if you're not monitoring what's happening in e-commerce and social media, you're missing a big part of the picture.
As far as the threats go and the things that you're focused on with us, helping you out, where are the majority of your threats coming from and kind of where are you seeing either regionally or within a particular area, so marketplaces, social media? Just expand a little bit, if you don't mind. Where are some of the threats coming for your business?
Like any brand, you're going to focus on where your major markets are. Domestically, we're not seeing a lot. We know the domestic market pretty well. Internationally, Southeast Asia and China are key for us. And so we're paying a very close attention to those markets. But also, as we expand, because we just launched about a year and a half ago, a production facility down in Chile. So the South American market is going to be, more important for us. And so having the tools to be able to see what's happening, with the brand right now in those countries before we even have an official presence. Like many brands, we use a distribution model that's one, maybe two exclusive distributors per country. So we don't have anything there yet, but obviously, stuff is there. We've got Sunsweet branded fruit on the market. And so being able to see how the brand's being perceived has been very valuable to marketing.
Recently, you put out some material on Small But Mighty, which I absolutely loved. And just kind of riffing off that, kind of when I came into brand protection, into Aptitex, that is now a Tracer, it really shocked me at how siloed for years the effort and the investment is within the legal construct. And as we kind of think about things, with social media and platforms and the threat vectors and marketplaces and in a total, world planet that has to, you have to think about what related to your brand. So if you can, and I think we share some really interesting thoughts there. If you're a team of one, or if you're talking about the legal department, talk a little bit about those best practices. So it's not just legal, it's really tapping into your peers, and talk a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Sure. And it goes beyond brand protection and just in-house generally. Our primary role is to support the business. So we need to understand the business to know how to best support them. And that's going to mean different things for different departments. So obviously with brand protection, you need to work hand in hand with marketing. Contrary to popular belief, legal and marketing are not natural born enemies. We can get along, and I've been blessed to have great working relationships with marketing at both Jelly Belly and here. And I came in and said, hey, look, this is what I was seeing at Jelly Belly. This is the types of enforcements we were doing. This is the types of brand protection. What are your pain points? And it was interesting because it was very different than the priorities at Jelly Belly. So I come in, expecting one thing, and it just proves my point and yours about being siloed. You may have an expectation as in-house brand protection counsel about what's the priority, but if you don't talk to marketing and others in the C-suite as to what are their priorities, you're not doing your job very well.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the one thing over this past year, and really engaging with the team here at Tracer. We're really trying hard to help kind of our legal sponsors really work effectively across their peers. So at other brands outside of growers and producers. So really appreciate your thoughts there. And this problem isn't slowing down anytime soon. And the tools that the people out there that are doing bad things against your brand are getting easier and easier for them to use to get in front of customers and do things. So really, really appreciate those thoughts. Let's talk a little bit about return on investment. Anytime you want to step into the marketing world or the product world, and certainly at the board level and C-suite, return on investment has to at least be somewhat in the conversation. If you can, talk a little bit about what that means for Sunsweet and how you and the team, and might be early innings, but are thinking about your return on investment with your brand protection and brand intelligence strategies.
Sure. I mean, primary is the brand intelligence in terms of seeing directly what's happening in certain markets that we did not have visibility on before. That became immediately apparent even in the demo that we did with you guys. And some of the hits that came back were, I don't want to get into details, but very surprising to marketing. And so they immediately saw the value. There's obviously the traditional KPIs of number of enforcements and, things like that. But I think as in-house brand protection, we need to, again, think a little bit more broadly about, we have this amazing technology and we may be well-versed in it, but other departments may not be, even our distributors. I mean, one of the classics is, yes, you can use this technology for channel management, and that's going to create pushback from your distributors because you feel like, they feel like you're being big brother. And I think I've done a pretty good job about avoiding that by showing the distributors, hey, look, you don't have this resource in your market to see what's happening in e-commerce. I can generate this for you in, a few clicks. And so getting buy-in from the distributors is also key. So it's talking to other units, and it's about how you position this. Of course, we are still doing channel management. We are keeping an eye on them. But it has been presented in a way that was more palatable, and actually they're really interested in the technology.
Yeah, well, and I can't say enough on behalf of all of our team, what you have done not only in your previous role working with us, but also at Sunsweet. That brand intelligence piece has really pushed us to think about our platform a little bit different way. So as we are kind of rolling out Tracer Insights to really help your peers outside of legal really get intelligence and information on market and competitive strategies and flow and volume and distributors and new brand ideas, new product ideas. All of those things, as you said, really come from the same platform. So we're really trying to capture some of your initial vision that you had with us. So honestly, I really, really do mean it. You are driving our roadmap in a very meaningful way. So I just want to thank you publicly for that.
Well, I appreciate that. The tech is great and the team is even better. So I can't say enough about you guys.
That's good to hear. Maybe let's talk a little bit about in brand protection. Kind of intellectual property is always kind of something, and trademarks and copyrights, but there's also other things there. Can you discuss a little bit about gray market, black market, if that exists for you guys, and then probably one that is really, really important, kind of the health and safety aspect. So talk a little bit about some of those threats, if you will, that we're trying to stay on top of that are out there.
Sure. At the bottom, I call it the hierarchy of infringement. You've got the gray market at the bottom, which is obviously authorized product just either in a channel or in a jurisdiction that is not authorized for. At Jelly Belly, we had a big problem with that. We had a lot of licenses with entertainment companies that were limited to the U.S. And so we'd see stuff popping up in Europe, and that was problematic. Conversely here, because we are such a large player in the market, gray market is just not that big of a deal. Like I said previously, coming in and finding that out was a surprise. But you come up from that, you've got innocent infringement, the next hierarchy. And that's fans of the brand that are using it in a way that's problematic. And obviously, because they are fans of the brand, you want to take a soft approach on that. Then you've got traditional infringement. We've got plenty of competitors around the world that like to trade off of our trade dress. It's pretty distinctive. And then at the top is the absolute DEFCON 1, what keeps me up at night is counterfeit. As a food and beverage company, if you've got a product out there that's counterfeit, you don't know how it was produced. You don't know if it has undeclared allergens. This is something that people are consuming. And so that is the absolute most critical thing we're keeping an eye out for. And thankfully, don't find it very often.
So we kind of talked a little bit about the taste is in the shape. So you have to walk the audience through, like, what is that? That's so cool on so many levels. So yeah, talk a little bit about the taste is in the shape.
It's one of our taglines, and it comes from the fact that one of the ways Sunsweet differentiates itself in the market and has for many, many years is we have proprietary pitting technology for our prunes, and it actually results in a very distinctive shape. And we're actually pursuing product configuration protection for that shape in different jurisdictions. But we do plenty of look-for advertising. It's something that we're known for. In fact, that's where we see some infringement sometimes is a private label prune using photos of our prunes on the outside. And it's the standard pitted prune on the inside, which doesn't look like anything like ours.
So today, as executives, you can't open up a magazine, put on a TV show, and not hear about artificial intelligence and how it's generative AI and AI is really changing, everything that we think of in really every industry. So with that as a backdrop, Mark, for you, and then maybe at Sunsweet, how is AI impacting Sunsweet Growers?
Stay tuned, I think is my answer, because I think we're all still finding our way, particularly from the legal standpoint. But actually, we're working with a company with some very sophisticated AI-based imaging technology that can go into our growers' orchards and come up with a really accurate analysis of the amount of fruit that's on the tree. Previously, you had to shake the tree and have all that come down to kind of get an idea of where you were at. And it's it's got our head of IT really excited. It's it could be a real game changer for our grower members.
It's incredible that at Tracer, as you know, we're really advancing our computer vision capabilities and what we're doing with our own use of AI to help you protect your brand out there. So we're certainly excited about the space. So that was a fun question. So appreciate that. Okay, so we have a lot of consumers that watch the show. And maybe just stepping outside of Sunsweet in particular, but as you think about the years you've spent in brand protection, intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights, infringements, and we ourselves are users, what advice would you give to folks so that they can best protect themselves when they're engaging online?
You have to know who you're buying from, is what it comes down to. And so whether you're on a third-party marketplace platform like Amazon, as a consumer, I guilty of this too, oh, this is what I need. Okay, that came up, add it to the cart without paying too much attention of where this was coming from. And especially for food and beverage, it's critically important for consumers to be able to trust what they're buying, and it's going to be high quality, that it's not going to be near expired or even worse, already expired. So paying attention to branded pages on third-party marketplaces, many CPG companies have them, or if the company has their own e-commerce platform, buy direct from sunsweet.com. You're going to be absolutely assured of the genuine, not only the genuineness of the product, but also that it's going to be high quality because it's coming direct from our warehouse.
In addition, maybe following up on that AI and kind of the landscape of the digital world is growing and at a rapid pace. If you think about just the sheer number of social media platforms that have come online in the past year, compared to what we're going to see moving forward, the number of marketplaces that are out there globally, as you think through the expansion of the digital universe, can you share a little bit about what you see as the future? Where are you seeing some interesting trends? So let's fast forward 5 years. Where do you think we're going to be in 5 years, and what types of elements, whether it's buying patterns, whether it's, whatever it might be. I mean, leave it as open-ended. Fast forward 5 years, and where do you think kind of the industry is going to be?
Well, certainly in the brand protection space, it's going to be harder to detect infringements because there's so much live or content that's being produced that you can't monitor, or maybe only monitor after the fact. And so, yeah, I don't know. I hope your tech team is really scratching their heads on that, because I don't know what the answer is. And if you've got infringement happening in real time, copycat culture, influencers, infringing on your brand in a recording that's, maybe it's live and maybe it's never going to be recorded. How do you possibly combat that? It really is it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, no, it's a big problem, and certainly we're up for that challenge. As you know, we're rolling out some really sophisticated artificial intelligence capabilities to you and to our team. We're supporting you, and I think it for us, it really comes down to binary, right? Is it a positive or negative? So is someone kind of generally positive in utilizing your brand in ways that is above board and is generally positive with what they're doing? And then I think the authenticity is going to become a premium. So, if I were to stare at that question and how we're thinking about the future of Tracer and where we're going, authenticity and really capturing that for consumers on behalf of their interaction with brands is absolutely paramount. So, no, I appreciate that. So let's have a little bit of fun in all our episodes. We have a little bit of a rapid fire here. So, kind of prepare yourself. So just whatever comes top of mind. Here we go. What would you choose to eat for your last meal?
A5 Wagyu, New York, medium rare.
There you go. I like it. What superpower would you choose?
Oh boy. Because I deal with traffic on my commute, I'm going to go with the power of flight.
Nice. I'm with you on that one. The most productive time of the day for you?
Oh, wow. Between 5 and 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Cats or dogs?
Had great cats growing up, so I'm going to go with cats, although I like dogs as well.
Okay. Drink of choice?
Non-alcoholic, iced tea. Alcoholic would probably be a vodka soda before dinner and a nice rye on the rocks after.
There we go. Favorite genre of music?
Wow. Toss-up between Latin pop and EDM, actually.
Oh, EDM. There we go. Nice. Let's go. Android or Apple?
Apple.
Favorite pizza toppings?
Pepperoni and black olives.
Most prized possession?
Wow. Yeah, stop me on that one. I'm going to go, you know what? No, I'm going to go with my grandmother's enameled cast iron pot that I used to cook in quite a bit.
I love it. Love it. Okay, last one on the rapid fire. Best advice you've ever received?
To not go to law school right after undergrad and to work for a while and really figure out what kind of area of law I wanted to practice in as an attorney. And that was invaluable.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. Well, Mark, I tell you what, thank you so much for joining us for episode 1 of Tracer Talks. Really appreciate it. For everyone out there, you heard directly from Mark. Make sure you go directly to Sunsweet if you want their products. Mark, really appreciate the time. Thanks so much for engaging with us.
Thanks for the invitation. I love to talk about this stuff, so any opportunity I can, I'm going to take advantage of.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tracer Talks. To see more content on brands and digital risk protection, visit our website, tracer.ai.